I don't see how then you can idolize a LeBron James, who we have seen. This is highly amusing to me because now LeBron James' legacy hinges on Kevin Durant.
LeBron's legacy is already LeBron's legacy is already.
It hinges on Kevin Durant.
Stop it.
Kevin Durant will determine whether LeBron James sinks or swims with the Lakers.
Skip Bayless has once again poured fuel on one of basketball's most heated debates. But this time, he is not attacking LeBron's numbers, his championships, or even the incredible longevity that has defined his career. Instead, Skip is questioning something far more significant: LeBron's overall legacy. According to Bayless, the foundation of LeBron James' reputation is beginning to show cracks in a way that fans can no longer ignore. Not because his talent has suddenly disappeared, but because the image that many people spent years defending is facing increasing scrutiny. What makes this discussion even more interesting is that it has expanded far beyond sports talk shows. Former players, analysts, passionate fans, and even casual NBA observers are beginning to wonder whether the final chapter of LeBron's career could permanently influence how history remembers him. The debate intensified after another frustrating stretch for the Lakers, a period that began with enormous expectations but once again ended with disappointment and unanswered questions. Rather than focusing on scoring averages or highlight reel moments, Skip directed attention toward a much larger issue. He argued that whenever adversity strikes a team led by LeBron, a familiar pattern seems to emerge. The coach becomes the problem. The front office is blamed for poor decisions. Teammates are suddenly viewed as inadequate. Injuries dominate the conversation. Somehow, someone else always absorbs the criticism before it reaches LeBron himself. According to Skip, that recurring cycle is gradually affecting the way people evaluate LeBron's greatness because the most respected legends in sports history are expected to confront turmoil head-on, not shift the spotlight away from themselves when things go wrong.
I will continue to criticize LeBron bleepin' James.
That is exactly why the comments spread across social media so quickly. Skip was not questioning LeBron's basketball ability because that debate was settled a long time ago. Nobody with serious credibility disputes his greatness. 4 NBA championships, more than 2 decades of elite production, the league's all-time scoring leader, and a superstar who remained dominant through multiple generations of basketball well into his late 30s. Those accomplishments are firmly established. Instead, Skip focused on a different part of the conversation. He challenged the leadership aspect of LeBron's legacy, the accountability factor, and the way people interpret his influence when things do not go according to plan. The moment that topic enters the discussion, the basketball world immediately becomes divided. Supporters and critics rush to defend their positions, turning every debate into a massive online battle. The timing also added fuel to the fire. The Lakers were once again facing heavy scrutiny, dealing with pressure from expectations, criticism from the media, and ongoing concerns about the roster. As a result, the conversation shifted away from simple basketball analysis and toward LeBron's role behind the scenes. Skip's argument was straightforward. Few players in NBA history have possessed as much organizational influence as LeBron James, yet he often avoids receiving the same level of blame when those decisions fail to produce results. That idea sits at the center of the entire criticism. If a superstar helps shape the roster, has a voice in coaching situations, and influences the direction of a franchise, many fans believe that players should also share responsibility when things go wrong. According to Skip, that balance has not always been present in the way LeBron's career is discussed.
If you had a sit-down interview with him, what's like the first question you'd ask LeBron?
Why didn't you work on your free throws? It's an unguarded shot from 15 feet, and it's called a free throw because it's free. It's actually
This is where the conversation becomes even more complicated. LeBron's reputation was never built solely on what he accomplished between the lines. Throughout his career, he became associated with intelligence, leadership, player empowerment, and influence at the highest level. He was viewed as much more than a basketball player. In many ways, he became the symbol of the modern superstar, an athlete capable of shaping the direction of an entire organization. Younger players watched how he transformed the relationship between stars and franchises. He helped establish an era where elite players had a stronger voice in roster construction, organizational decisions, and long-term planning. At the same time, few athletes have managed their public image and media presence as effectively as LeBron. But there is another side to that level of influence. When expectations are met, the power is celebrated. When expectations are not met, that same power naturally attracts greater scrutiny. The more authority a superstar possesses, the more difficult it becomes to separate that player from the outcomes that follow. That was the central point Skip continued to emphasize. He argued that LeBron often receives credit as a decision-maker when things succeed, yet when teams struggle, the blame tends to shift toward coaches, front offices, injuries, or supporting players. According to Skip, that is why the current stage of LeBron's career feels different from previous years. Fans have grown older. The media environment has evolved. People are looking back at the entire body of work rather than focusing exclusively on achievements and accolades. As a result, past chapters of LeBron's career are being re-examined from a much more critical perspective. The discussion quickly moved from Cleveland to Miami, back to Cleveland, and eventually Los Angeles. Critics pointed out that in nearly every stop of LeBron's journey, teammates often became the primary targets of frustration before attention turned toward him. The early Cavaliers rosters were frequently criticized for lacking enough talent. In Miami, Chris Bosh faced intense scrutiny whenever the team hit difficult stretches. During LeBron's second run in Cleveland, Kevin Love was regularly questioned despite making significant sacrifices to fit the team's needs. Later in Los Angeles, Russell Westbrook became the focal point of criticism as the Lakers struggled to meet expectations. Over the years, coaches faced pressure, executives faced blame, and entire front offices became targets of frustration. Skip's position is that the pattern has appeared too many times across too many different situations for people to continue dismissing it as a coincidence.
Scoopy Robinson, Stark said, LeBron is hurting his legacy by switching NBA teams so much that it affects his standing when it comes to LeBron versus Jordan debates. Mike didn't move around and didn't want to move around. He wanted to play against the best. He felt like he did need to go chase players to join his team. He just beat the best because he felt like he was the best.
To be fair, many of the issues being discussed were not completely invented. There is real evidence behind some of those criticisms. The Cavaliers struggled for years to surround LeBron with championship-level talent during the early stages of his career. The Lakers made several roster moves that failed to deliver the results the organization expected. Russell Westbrook never seemed like a seamless fit alongside LeBron and the rest of the roster. And on multiple occasions, injuries derailed teams that looked capable of making serious postseason runs. Very few reasonable basketball fans would deny any of those facts. But Skip's argument was never that LeBron's complaints lacked legitimacy. His point was centered on something much deeper. According to Skip, true legendary leadership is not just about recognizing who deserves blame behind closed doors. It is about willingly carrying the weight of failure in public, even when others may share responsibility. That is where this debate moves beyond statistics, championships, and accomplishments. It becomes a discussion about perception, leadership, and the qualities people associate with all-time greatness. The reason this topic sparked such a massive reaction is because LeBron has spent the majority of his career being measured against the highest standard imaginable. For over 2 decades, every conversation about his legacy has inevitably led back to comparisons with Michael Jordan. And when athletes are compared at that level, the conversation often becomes intensely personal. Jordan's reputation became linked to relentless competitiveness, accountability, and an unwavering drive to win. Kobe Bryant's legacy was built around obsession, discipline, and demanding excellence from everyone around him. Tim Duncan earned respect for his consistency, humility, and willingness to sacrifice individual recognition for team success. So when Skip questions LeBron's leadership approach, he is not simply criticizing basketball decisions or front office influence. He is challenging whether LeBron embodies the same traits that fans traditionally associate with the greatest competitors the sport has ever seen. That is why the debate continues to generate so much attention. It is no longer about points, championships, or records. It is about how people define greatness itself, and whether LeBron fits that definition in the same way his supporters and critics believe he should.
True.
Because maybe he realized
we can't win. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it looked like to me. All I'm saying is I expect great things from a great player.
The reaction online was immediate, and the basketball world quickly split into two opposing camps. LeBron supporters responded by highlighting the enormous burden he has carried throughout his entire career. They pointed to the fact that reaching 8 consecutive NBA Finals requires extraordinary leadership, consistency, and the ability to keep teams focused year after year. Young players frequently praise his basketball intelligence, while teammates often speak about the knowledge, preparation, and guidance he provides behind the scenes. Supporters also argue that no player has entered the league under greater expectations than LeBron did as a teenager and still managed to perform at an elite level for more than 2 decades. But those who agreed with Skip pushed back just as strongly. They argued that many all-time greats also dealt with imperfect situations. Michael Jordan endured years of frustration before Chicago finally built a championship-caliber roster around him. Kobe Bryant experienced difficult seasons and organizational instability with the Lakers. Dirk Nowitzki spent years carrying Mavericks teams that were far from perfect. Yet critics believe discussions surrounding LeBron often end with coaches, teammates, injuries, or front offices receiving a larger share of the blame when things go wrong. That is precisely why Skip's comments connected with a certain segment of fans. And this is where the conversation becomes especially complicated. Once leadership enters the debate, objectivity becomes difficult. Championships can be counted. Records can be verified. Statistics can be measured. Leadership is different. Leadership is often judged through emotion, perception, body language, and personal interpretation. When fans form a strong opinion about a player's character, very little evidence is capable of changing that belief afterward. The criticism also feels louder today because LeBron's career has unfolded during the social media era. Every reaction is captured. Every moment of frustration becomes a viral clip. Every cryptic message sparks endless speculation. Unlike previous generations, LeBron has spent his career under the microscope of non-stop digital coverage, where narratives spread faster than facts and perception can become just as influential as reality. Following Skip's comments, several former players and analysts acknowledged that parts of the criticism were at least worth discussing. Some pointed to moments when LeBron publicly questioned roster construction or indirectly expressed frustration after difficult losses. Critics argue that those comments can place additional pressure on teammates who are already struggling under intense scrutiny. That is one reason names like Kevin Love and Russell Westbrook continue to appear whenever these discussions resurface. At the same time, LeBron supporters believe that critics ignore a mountain of evidence pointing in the opposite direction. Star players repeatedly choose to join teams with him. Former teammates consistently praise his work ethic and preparation. Even opposing players acknowledge his ability to elevate offenses, control games mentally, and make teammates better. Both sides can point to legitimate examples, which is exactly why the debate remains unresolved. There is also a larger lesson hidden beneath the argument.